So some people say men should, do manly things. They try to pigeonhole us to certain things, especially when it comes to cooking. But the guest I got today transcends all of that. He is a master pastry chef. And yeah, some of you may know him as yeah.
Let's go. Take two.
Take two. Yeah. So yeah, this is the Risky Lifestyle Podcast, and I'm your host, Joshua Southern. You can call me Big Cuz, Big Smooth, Big Josh, or whatever you want to call me. Just don't call me out my name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I'm not gonna call you Big Smooth though.
Please. But that was one of my names.
All right, I call you Big Cuz.
Yeah. I was for sure Big Cuz in college.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know why that really came about. Probably because I used to say "cuz" a lot. Come on, cuz. But man, like, you guys are in for a treat today. I got a special guest here today. Mr. Marcus Leslie from Mr. Leslie's Cheesecake, man. He is a phenomenal entrepreneur. He is he's a role model in the community of Lansing, Detroit, man, all over Michigan, man. A man of many hats, public speaking, motivational speaking,
Talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And you guys know him, as Mr. Leslie, that makes cheesecakes. He's a spiritual leader, all that good stuff, right? So, man, it is a pleasure to have you here today.
Oh, man. Listen, I appreciate that. And again, I'll say it again because we got it going now.
We got it going.
Like, it's an honor to be here. To see where you're at right now. I can see where you're going. Like, this is beautiful right here. Like, I'm like, yo, I feel like I'm walking in and I am, but like, I love that you started where you want to go, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Like, some people had a mindset, we're not where we want to be at, so we just in a little corner. No, this is top notch, y'all.
Appreciate
From the audio to the visual. I'm like, oh.
Hey, we in here, man. We're gonna do this, man.
Yes,
we're gonna do it with excellence. I mean, which, everything that like you've done, trials, errors, whatever, man, like you've done everything in excellence, and that's one thing that I can see, visually, like, man, you making sure that you're not just putting out anything, right? Like, it got to be excellent before it hits the market.
Yeah. That's always the goal.
So yeah, man. So, hey, we here to just have a candid conversation.
Listen, I've been looking forward to this. And I'm gonna say it on camera. Like, I messed up. We were supposed to record a few days ago, and I called him like, "Yo, Josh, where you at, man? I'm out. The door locked." He's like, "No, that was yesterday, bro. Like you missed the whole." And I'm like, "Nah." So I, on the flight assessment, I don't know if you've ever taken that, but I'm like a high I, and so I realized I skim information.
Yeah.
Like I skim.
I'm the same.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, no, it was this day. And I go to the email. I'm like, oh, shoot. I done moved meetings based upon a schedule that was supposed to be the day before. So I appreciate you, man.
Oh, no, man. I appreciate you.
Not rescheduling me and just saying you ain't going to do nothing else with me.
Oh, no, man. That ain't how we roll, man. That ain't how we roll,
sure.
Man. Because, like, we've been locked in for some years now. So yeah, and I know, man, you're a busy man. So yeah, for me, it's like, hey, like, let's just make sure we can, reschedule from wherever, and today was perfect. And then when you called me, like, that was my daughter's birthday, you know what I mean? So I was like, so that's why I was like, okay, like the 30th is cool, where we can, and then, the 31st month.
Family first, man.
Yeah, so, hey, and, as men, especially black men, man, we got to make sure that we taking care of our families, and
100%.
And be that person, that's there. So.
100%. Because if my wife said you couldn't do it today, I've been like, hey, we gotta We got to reschedule.
We got to reschedule, bro.
Yeah.
We got to reschedule.
So, and I ain't ashamed to be like, because back in the day when you was young, your boy be like, oh, you whipped it. Yeah, I am.
I am, man. But that's just it right there, man.
Yeah.
Because husbands supposed to take care of their wives and love their wives as Christ loved the church, right?
100%.
I mean, and we ain't gonna preach today, but
no. But it's the truth. To all my business owners out there, especially our black men and our black fathers, right?
Yeah.
Bro, the business can't overshadow home because you got to go home to wifey and the kids. I will tell you this, and I know I'm jumping ahead, is that one of the things that I said I never wanted to happen. You ever watch these? My wife be making me watch these Lifetime. Your wife be doing the same thing.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll leave the room, but then I come back and I'm peeking.
You peeking, right?
I'm like, hey, what's going on?
What's going on? And so you had that successful. It'd be the happy family, and whether black or white, father and mother, and then they start the business, and then they forward. 15 years later, and the daughters hate the dad. They were about to get a divorce. I said, God, I don't ever want that.
Ever.
I don't ever want that. So I try to be intentional. I'm not perfect, but I try to be intentional in making sure that I'm always valuing my wife, my kids, in that order. My wife, my kids, and then the business. Of course, God is at the top. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So y'all got to do the same thing, man.
No, man, those are early nuggets, in this episode, right, man? Those are things that, man, I hold dear to because, like, my wife was there first before the kids, right? So, like, and then I've seen, in those type of movies too, where, the kids go off to college, now
they gone.
You're empty nesters.
Looking at each other, don't know each other.
You don't even know each other no more.
Bro, and again, listen, I don't want to take from.
No, we good.
So we had this thing. We do our date night. So we did an in-home date night the other night. Our kids. I got my son 11, my daughter about to be 9. But we was like, also, we know we'd be gone a lot, so we didn't want to necessarily have my kids go to somebody else's house.
For sure.
So you do have to have that balance. But we set up a date night outside on the patio. We told the kids, hey, y'all sitting, or y'all go upstairs or stay. My daughter likes to be close to us, so she stayed in the family room where they could see us. But it was beautiful because we told them, hey, we having date night.
Mm-hmm.
From this time, we sitting out, with the candle. We got our fish tacos that we made, man, with the homemade pico de gallo with the pie. It was phenomenal, man. It was great. And we sat out there. I had my phone on, had on some PJ Morton. Musical, and my kids was like, what y'all gonna be doing? I said, I'm gonna sit there and hold your mom's hand and tell her how much I love her and kiss on her. My son was like, man, stop. Just giggling.
Yeah.
But not only was that beneficial for us, I realized in that moment, and I do have these little pockets, but my kids get to see me love on their mom and their mom love on me, bro.
Absolutely.
So we setting up. It's the blueprint.
Man, that's the blueprint, man, because one day they're going to be grown and they got to know how to be a husband, how to be a wife, and all that good stuff, right? And how to stay connected, how to communicate properly, right? And all that good stuff. So, yeah. Hey, so, man, we gonna hop into it because it's going to be a hot episode. I'm telling you. Yeah, man, let's start with the first segment, man. I remember when. And this is like any story that you want to tell from, like, previous years, that might be funny, or it might be something that's, that's a nugget, or like just something that's going to segue into the introduction, which we kind of gave introductions of what you do. But like for me, most of the time I always start with like when I first met you, you know what I mean? And so like for me, I remember, Mr. Worthy, he hitting us up, and was like, hey, man, we trying to shoot a podcast, man. We didn't have, success over here, blah, blah, blah. So, we want to come, and try out your brand new studio, all this and that. This when we were down the hall still. On the street. And, man, we shot with probably 7 episodes or something like that, 7, 8 episodes.
It was a nice amount. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, and this was, man, the beginning of everything for us, and then, I mean, you guys had already kind of been doing it, and kind of had, like, the chemistry.
The chemistry with each other. But can I say for it being the beginning, I didn't even think about that, bro. Like, y'all had everything, like, top notch. This is a schedule. This is a boom. I walked in like, oh, hold on. We on a professional set.
Yeah, man. I mean, but that was something, where, like, and my wife, man, we come from a background of just wanting to be excellent,
Yeah, yeah.
and I've seen a lot of Black excellence growing up, man. Like some people don't get to say, man, that like they had a male Black principal in elementary school.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
so like
yeah,
I had that. I had principals that were part of fraternities.
yeah,
Um, Omega, Kappa, Sigma,
yeah,
all this
yeah,
stuff, right? And these are strong Black male figures,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then on top of having my dad in the house, you
yeah,
know what I
bro.
mean?
Set
So
the tone
so
for you.
like so I seen all these things, from coaches and all that, man,
Hmm.
and yeah, so like excellence is what we try to do. We know we gotta stay within budget on like some things, but it's something that you just can't skimp on. You know what I mean?
Listen,
So
talk about that budget, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Man, that
Listen,
budget is, man, it's something that we sometimes overlook, but like for me, growing up, on the east side of Saginaw,
yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? I seen a lot of poverty. I seen,
okay,
like even like we had our struggles, and that was one thing that I just didn't want to like fall into if
right,
I could help
right,
it. You know what I
right,
mean?
right, 100%.
So like even when I was making $12 an hour, I'm kind of like, okay, like this money got to go towards the bills, and then this money is for food. This
Yeah,
money is here. I just had a clip, that I put out where like, yeah, like I had like maybe $20, $30 left, after everything was over, just to put gas in my tank to get to work,
listen,
and that was
and
it.
yeah, and that's why your budget is important, man.
Yeah,
Like just understanding, the nuances of like, but having those examples, you had exposure, right? And something you said was important, that continues to show in your business, the excellence, right? And this is one thing I'm on at this stage in business, is trying to help business owners see, especially my brothers and sisters, right?
for sure,
Trying to help them see that you don't have to do it halfway.
for sure,
And it doesn't mean that it has to be perfected, right? But you can still do it with excellence,
for sure,
right?
for sure.
And for some, you realize their exposure or lack thereof is a reason they don't have that sense of urgency to make it
Yeah,
happen like that, right? Me and Ma talk about that all the time. So you having, that Black principle, that impression that left your father. I mean, listen, like, and I didn't necessarily have that with the principle. But my father left an impression. There are certain people I can go through. Mr. Pickett, who worked at the veterinary hospital I worked at,
absolutely.
right? I remember him. He was the first Black vet tech that I met,
Wow.
right? And then Mr. Smith, even though he got on my nerve, I think it was Mr. Smith, he was the Black veterinarian, right? Because that's what I aspired to be. So
Yeah.
my dad intentionally put me in an environment where I could be
Wow.
exposed to the thing I said I wanted to do.
Man, that's so good.
No, bro, like, and that's a lot of, especially as adults, some people take offense to it. When you say, okay, hey, get with somebody who's doing what you say you want to do.
Mhm.
What you think I don't know? Well, now in my state of being just 100% truthful, yes, I'm gonna tell you with all love and respect, and maybe a little disrespect, you don't know what you're doing.
You know what you're doing, man. Come on now. Like, man, you don't know what you're doing.
You don't know what you're
So,
doing.
yeah.
Yeah. So
No, but like, man, that like what comes to mind is which sometimes like people get it misconstrued, but man, the like scripture that says, train up a child in the way they should go, so when they are older, they don't depart from it, right? Yeah, so that got to do with like the foundation of,
yep,
having, this spirituality, knowing who God is,
yep,
but also with your dad exposing you to vet techs because you told him, hey, like, this is what I think I want to do.
exactly.
Okay, let me expose you to it,
Yeah,
so now you can make an informed
decision.
decision. So when you do get older,
You,
like this is something that I want to do.
you have what is it, data that you can go back and,
Yeah, that's good.
was it, they call it empirical data,
Yeah,
that you can
yeah,
go back and look at, engage. That's what, so one of my mentors always talks about facts over feelings, man. And a lot of times we make emotional decisions because how we feel. I don't feel
fact.
like working out. Like, I don't feel like working out, but I need to work out.
I need to.
I don't feel like going to the kitchen to make these cakes, but I need to. In order for this goal to happen, I got to. I don't feel like doing X, Y, Z. Sometimes I don't feel like getting up. I want to just sleep in.
Yeah,
So your feelings, I feel like that everybody like the same flavor of cheesecake that I like. That ain't the case.
that ain't the case.
If that was the case, some of the case would not have been made. you feel me? And
Facts.
so, that we got to get beyond that. Like whatever your palate is for life, Nobody cares. Who cares? Like, I think we got to
Man.
get beyond that. Man, but I don't really have and I'm just learning this, that you don't necessarily have to have a passion for the thing that you're called to do 100% of the time.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
There's days that you just don't feel like coming to do this. Doesn't mean that you don't love it any less. I mean, you know, and shout out to my boo, my wife, Kathleen. Like, I get on her nerves sometimes, and she get on my nerves sometimes.
Yeah.
That's 100%. But we still have a goal. I still wouldn't trade her for the world. Man, so yeah. So it's
no, that's good. Facts over feelings. Man, that's something that, man, I heard, I think last year, man, for like the first time, but it registered with me so much because, like, literally, like my tenure at GM, you know, being in supervision at GM, like, was all that.
Yeah.
You know, because there was something like, man, ain't no way, man, they treating these people like this in here.
Yeah.
But like, the goal is to make cars and to sell cars. You know what I mean? Whether I feel that or not,
you going into dangerous waters
I know.
now.
I know. You know, I know. Because me, you talked about this before, but man, you know, but it's one of those things where it's like, man, do they have any sympathy? No, it's about running this business. I understand that, you know, somebody might have got hurt or something happened, like this happened, but this is a business at the end of the day, and we have to make money or these doors will close. You know what I mean? And those are facts over those feelings, man. You know what I mean? So, like,
don't get me. All right, so like, you know, and anybody know me, I love people. You know, I would say, and this is not to my horn, but you know, I have a kind heart. You know, some people are you too kind. You know what I'm saying? But in business, you can't. You can be kind, but that kind has to have some boundaries.
Oh, gotta have boundaries.
Right? A lot of boundaries, right? And you know, for legal reasons as well. Like, for instance, you can have a worker that's phenomenal, that's killing it all the time, 100%, and they late like 3 times out the week, right? And then you can have another worker who is not phenomenal, but let's gauge phenomenal. Let's say one does the task they're supposed to do 100% of the time, and the other one does it 50% of the time, does it how they want to, the way they want to, no matter the training, the process, they went through all the proper so
standardized work, all that.
Yep. So then you fire eventually the one that you can't stand, or not even can't stand, they're just not doing the things that they need to do. You open yourself up to a lawsuit because you did not uphold the same standard for calling in or late as you did for the one that does it 100% right, but they're late more times. By your standards, the one that does everything they're supposed to be doing, which they're technically not because they're late a lot of times, should be gone. Right?
Gone.
So that's where your facts over feeling. Now, they might be rehireable, but you have to protect yourself. So I'm learning in business, like you said, that it's facts over feelings, and you have to protect yourself because at the end of the day, both will go find another job.
Absolutely.
One or both of them going to lie on their resume. Come on, because I done did it before.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Have you ever been fired? No.
No. What are you talking about?
Come on now.
I'm rehireable everywhere. Everywhere. They love me.
Facts.
You know, but you have to be, man, as a business owner, you have to understand it. Because here's the thing. When I worked in the plant, you know, we built for GM, and to see somebody fall out and have a stroke or a heart attack, and then they just rehire somebody else.
Oh, man.
Right. And that person lost points, I think.
Man, for real, though,
I learned that lesson at 23, 24 years old. So does it meet my moral standards? Maybe not. But at the end of the day, that's the real world. And so, you know, people don't like to hear that. But that's where I get some of my drive at, you know. So I like to say I'm building a company that's much different than your regular company. But at the same time, what most don't realize as an owner like you, if you got employees, things of that nature, you're responsible for paying them. You're responsible for taking care of their family because if they don't get paid, right? And so if you got 5 employees, you got one employee that's messing up the flow for your business that could potentially ensure that you lose customers or clientele. What are you going to do? Replace that one so you can maintain the 4?
Ooh.
Or keep that one so you can be a kind-hearted person and affect the business so now all 5 don't have a position, you know?
Nah, man. Nah. That's not the way.
That's not the way.
That's not the way at all. Yeah. So man, let's talk about Where you from? You know,
where I'm from. So yeah. So let me, because my bad, I didn't even give you my
I remember when.
I remember when.
Yeah.
I don't know. The first thing that came to my head was I remember when I was running down the street from somebody with a knife in my pocket.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that, man. You know?
I mean, I grew up on the west side of the D. I had to catch the
West
bus home
side.
from school, and I remember a couple of times, there was probably some gang members, whatever. I honestly don't remember. I just remember, and me and my mom were talking about this recently. Like, she's like, son, why you didn't ever tell me? I said, I don't know. I mean, it's the nature. I feel like if I told you I was gonna carry a knife, maybe y'all gonna try to, follow me and boom, and then I wasn't trying to have that. I'd rather try to handle myself. I was probably like 14, 15.
Okay.
But a couple times you get rolled up on, like, hey, so here's the thing. What did they say? They kind of creeping, roll down the window. What's up, young blood? You already knew what that was.
We like, dang, here we go, man. Here
And
we go.
you ignoring them. Hey, cuz, you don't hear me talking to you?
Like, oh man.
Hey, big fella. Yeah, so there's that third one,
That third,
because I'm the big fella, you know what I'm saying?
Me?
Yeah. And I'm like, hey, boom. Yeah, I ran. Hey, don't get it twisted. I'm saved, but I got hand. But I understood in that instance, I got a car full of dudes.
Hey, they want some smoke.
They want some smoke. I ain't want no smoke, man.
No, I ain't want no smoke, man.
Yeah, so I remember when that. Yeah, that's.
So what high school did you go to?
Man, I went to a small private. No, let me not say private. People get that twisted. I went to a small Christian school. Shout out to Westside Christian Academy. They still around. Yeah. Graduation class of 9, and people like, yo, that's crazy.
Wow, that is crazy.
It is. It is.
And I thought my class was small, and I think my class was like 120 or something like that, 130.
Graduation class?
Yeah, like
that was the size of the school.
Man, yeah, because
that's the size of my school.
With like Saginaw High, man, especially at that time, like, man, we came in with like, I think 500 freshmen.
Okay, wow.
And then, by the time, graduation came around, it was only like 120 something. So, I mean, that was like, wow. Like,
yeah.
What happened, but,
yeah.
Between, people moving, deaths, people changing schools, incarceration, all that stuff, so that made some of the numbers lower. But I wouldn't trade my experience for the world, man. Because it made me who I am, for real.
Exactly.
So,
and me, I mean, of course, look back, you say this, and that, but it shaped me who I am. Like I said, I'm from the city, 313. Got to throw it up.
Come on now.
West Side to the day I die. I've been in Lansing for a long time, but the 313 runs just straight through the veins. Proud to be from the city, and it's funny. I'm like, man, my kids are not. So my son was born. Me and my wife got married. We moved to Jackson because she was still working in the Ann Arbor area, and I was in Lansing. And the goal was always to come to Lansing. So my son, it's funny. He'd be like, Dad, I can't wait to go, visit my birth home and stuff like that. Talking about Jackson, and I'm like, bro, you was only there for a year.
Only there for a year. You're only there for a year.
Yeah, Kendall is straight from Lansing, man, and so. It's a blessing. I love the city, but I love where I'm at right now. It took me no shade, Lansing. It just took me a second. It's a smaller city. I was used to a big city.
No, I mean, and it took me a minute because I'm like, man, that's almost kind of remind me of Saginaw, man. It's a little slower pace,
Now, is it so? Saginaw? How big is Saginaw?
Saginaw is for sure. I would say it's smaller than it's almost the same size as Lansing.
Gotcha.
Because they got still got kind of like the suburbs, kind of how we have like Okemos, Hazlitt. Like we got Buena Vista, Bridgeport, Shields, and stuff that's surrounding Saginaw. So it's almost the same.
Okay, but just a different type of environment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but Lansing for sure is a little bigger.
Okay.
And we're right next to Flint. And hop, skip, and jump from Detroit. So I mean, we kind of get some of those influences, but I mean, we still got our own flavor, swag, our own culture, and all that stuff too.
Sag nasty is what they call it.
Yes, sir. But yeah, so like I'm like, man, like we're here in Lansing, and then for me, I won't say like I was a runner, but I was like chasing money.
Gotcha.
Which like I would tell anybody, man, please don't chase the money. I'm looking at this camera. I'm looking at this camera too.
Yeah,
camera.
Don't chase it.
Man, don't chase the money. Find what you're passionate about, and like the money will come, But man, I would chase the money. I went from Chrysler, and Warren, and I worked there for a year.
Okay.
And then I like jumped ship and went to GM.
Gotcha.
Obviously, I was with GM like 7.5 years. But even with GM, I moved all the way down to Tennessee.
Oh wow. Okay,
And
so
started
you
with
went.
GM.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, my son was literally a month old when we moved to Tennessee.
Okay.
Because he was born in Royal Oak, you know what I mean? But
Okay.
like, I would say he's a Lansing kid now.
Right,
you know what I mean? But he was born in Royal Oak. And then we literally moved to Tennessee. He spent his first 2 years in Tennessee.
That's dope. So he got, he done been, you know what I'm saying, Tennessee.
Yeah. And then back
Detroit
to Lansing,
area,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because even when I was in Tennessee, I moved. Like, I moved from Spring Hill to Murfreesboro,
Okay.
you know, after I had my house built and all that stuff. And like, it was just like, you know what? Like, I think it's time to come back home. You know, I want my son to be around family, but you know,
100%.
and like, but also I feel like the Holy Spirit was leading me to come back. You know,
Yeah.
and like shortly after I found out why, man, I had the chance to see some of the people that I love the most for the last time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, so I mean, but those are the things where, man, you got to listen, even though I didn't really want to listen. I'm like, man, I just built this house. I ain't been in there a year.
So what
you
we
know
doing?
what I mean? So, but like, it was like time to come back home, and I had the opportunity to come back home. So
I love it, man.
But yeah, so yeah, we are like kind of in this like, so where are you now? Type of segment. Cause we kind of talk about introductions, but I mean, we don't have to leave just yet. But like,
Yeah.
But like, you are Mr. Leslie of Mr. Leslie Cheesecake.
Oh yeah.
And like, how did that start though? How did that start?
Man, and if we could, and I know I keep doing this, but you said something that struck a chord though.
Yeah, what's up?
Like you said, don't chase that money. Right? You know, we get into chasing that money, and when you ask where am I now, and I think about that and like purpose, right?
Purpose.
Understanding the reason why it's the reason why something exists, right? So why does your business exist? Why do you exist?
Yeah.
Right. And I think I'm understanding too, it can somewhat evolve, meaning the vehicle by which you accomplish the reason why you're here for. So Cheesecake is like in Lansing right now, is soon to be, nationally and worldwide, is how people will know me. That's the vehicle, right? And, I used to live that life, and I believe it, don't chase the money. But then I thought about the question people had, but you saying that, and they might be thinking we saying that and we got all the money.
No, man, we don't
Right.
have all the money, man.
Because what do you do when you don't have the money and people tell you not to? Because I remember one of my mentees asked me, but I need the money.
I need that money.
I need that money.
Yeah, for sure.
And just clarity on like when we talk about not chasing the money, right? And I'm talking to 1 to 100 of y'all, right?
Yeah,
right there.
Yeah, them right there.
Right. So when we talk about not chasing the money, like Josh made a great example. He jumped from Chrysler to GM. Yeah. That's what we mean. Like, so you try. Cheesecake. I'm gonna do pies now. I'm gonna do cookies now. I'm gonna sell T-shirts now. Whatever is the next. I think the big thing. Or someone said, "Hey, Josh, I think you should. Man, you love shoes. You should start selling sneakers." So you're chasing what you think is going to actually produce the revenue instead of chasing what your purpose is, or the thing that you can do naturally.
That's good.
Easily.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
that's true. Bro, I was making cheesecake for free, taking it to church events, work events, family events, and everybody kept saying, "Can you bring that cheesecake back?" I brought a cheesecake to a Super Bowl party that they didn't even ask me to bring. They asked me to bring some pound cake, and because they had another person that always brought cheesecake. And in my head, I don't think I said it then, but it was like subconscious. Oh, my cheesecake better than hers. I already know it is.
You already
know. And I'm not bringing. This is like way before me selling anything, and I'm not bringing no pound cake no more because I don't want to bring that. I want to bring them something better. And when I brought that pound cake, that cheesecake to that Super Bowl party that year, that was the first time I brought mine. The last time she brought hers, and we've been going ever since. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So and then I realized, okay, I love doing this. Other people love me doing this. And they started connecting me to more, because my purpose is really, to be a facilitator and connect people, to help people, bring happiness, etc. and so this is one of the vehicles. You talk about me speaking, being a motivated speaker, a coach, all that stuff. I can do that through Cheesecake, right? So when you chase your purpose, right, and you can still get the bag.
You still can get the bag. Absolutely can get the bag. Yeah.
But when you chasing purpose, like this right here, I'm here because of Cheesecake.
Yeah.
I was introduced to you because of Cheesecake.
Cheesecake. Yeah.
Did nobody want to talk to me before?
Hey, but like in Lansing, man, it's like 1 degree of separation from everybody.
Yeah.
So like I would have eventually.
And I think we crossed paths. But what I'm saying is, Cheesecake is what, it's not a knock on me, but Cheesecake is what introduced me into the conversation.
For sure.
You see what I'm saying?
For sure.
And so I think E.T., one of my mentors, was like, yo, he was telling TJ, like, bro, you a football dude, you an athlete, and he kept saying, no, I'm a speaker, I'm this. When really, once he embraced being that football dude, right? Now he embraced it. He uses that as a part of his teaching.
But that's you though.
That's what I'm saying. So now analogy, listen, I can tell you how to put things together in your life, sugar, cream cheese, things that are good by itself but phenomenal together.
Man,
right?
Absolutely.
So yeah. So chase purpose, y'all.
Chase
purpose.
Man. Cause I for sure like even for myself, like I try to stray away from that. Like, oh yeah, man, I played basketball in the past,
man. But you didn't just play. I saw some of the highlights. Like Josh was like cold with it,
man. But that's just been putting in the work, you know what I mean? And by God's grace, man, like I had the right exposure, the right coaches, the right mindset. And it got me to where college was paid for. Had a chance for pro, whatever. But. Like some of the stories go, I got hurt, but I still have my degree, all this other stuff. But
so your passion and your purpose provided a path. Basketball was the vehicle one time that paid for college.
Yeah.
That got you exposure. Some of the contests that you probably still had to this day, if you was like, yo, I got this phenomenal podcast idea, and boom, 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 and they're like, Josh, how much you need?
For sure, man. Like, and this is. Like, even when I got to Lansing, like, there was people that still knew who I was. They're like, oh, man, like, you Josh Southern from, Saginaw, man, you won the 2007 state championship, man, you went to Boston College, blah, 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 and all this other stuff. And, like the whole time, I'm kind of like, man, that ain't me. Like, that ain't me no more. You know what I mean?
God, like it is.
Man, that is me. Man, and I, recently just volunteered at, like, my coach's camp. He came back from Oklahoma to coach I think it was, man, it had to be like 8 to 14-year-old camp.
Okay.
Just in Saginaw, man. Like in one of the neighborhoods, man, it was a great turnout, man. But during that time, I'm like, man, like, I don't know, it's like sparked something in me where I'm like, I need to be doing more of this. You know what I mean? I need to be coaching. I need to be like around the game a little more because it was like, man, like it kind of like resurrected something in me, you know what I mean? Which, we talk about, like even like failures, like at one point, man, when I was first done with basketball, like I felt like a failure almost, you know what I mean?
I feel you, man.
Where it was like, man, like I was supposed to be in the league. I'm supposed to be, doing this, and now I'm supposed to be getting my parents out the hood. I'm supposed to be doing all this, right?
Yeah.
And, I came back like, dang, kind of with like my head down versus like looking at like all the many great things, that I've done, all the blessings that the Lord has blessed me with, instead of murmuring, complaining, right? It's kind of like, no, like you have done great things and like you're still doing great things, right?
100%. Let's go. Yeah.
But yeah. So, So yeah, like, let's hit on like what like sparked you wanting to get into business though? Like what was that like?
I've always, I can take you back to childhood. I knew I was probably like 9 or 10. I wanted to have a 5-star hotel.
Yeah.
Right. So I always had a knack for entrepreneurship. And to your point, I would say I think it's something that I was created with.
Yeah.
Also, I believe it was an influence of my father. My father, we used to sing his songs. He wrote books. Started several different businesses. Right. that, you know, we were able to be a part of or actually see.
Yeah.
You know, now it's crazy. Before he passed, he would say, man, I always start something, I don't finish it, and that's how he viewed it. But October will be our 5th year in business, and it's because he planted that seed, right? And so, man, when we go back to exposure, like this season of my life, I'm more selfish, right? With my time, I'm more selfish with who I talk to, what I'm watching, what I'm eating, bro, what I'm consuming naturally, spiritually, right?
Absolutely.
Like I'll be honest with you. Somebody else might call me for a podcast, and I might be like, "Nah, I'm good.
No, I'm cool."
Like, no, I'm like 100% because I don't my time. I don't know you enough to trust you enough to give you my time like that.
For sure.
I mean, now if you got a $10,000 check, then that might be.
I can make a little time for you.
Might make a little, but see that, with a joke, but the value, because what I've learned even in coaching, man, you know, business owners, and so I say I mentor kids, I coach adults, and realizing that, man, you ever spend time sewing into somebody, giving them information, just for them not to use any bit of that information. Nothing. So I'm like, so you're not just taking time from me, you're taking time from my wife, for my kids, for me investing into my business. So at this stage, I refuse to give that energy, my time, my resources, without being reciprocated. Right?
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
Man, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Actually, like, you know, I'm starting to step into this season where, like, man, I love community. I love being with people. But man, like, there's been times where I've like done certain things, but like that hasn't been reciprocated back, right? And I'm like, so I'm kind of in that like, and when we say selfish, and I don't want to put no words in your mouth, but when we say selfish, it's more so just being more self-aware and being.
I mean, being selfish. Let me look in this camera. I mean being selfish. So in other words, you might consider, oh, he don't want to do nothing for nobody else. That's how you take it.
That's how you take it.
If I tell you no, I can't. Good. If I say
that's good though.
Yeah, can you come to no? Can you donate to no?
No, I can't do it.
Right. And you know, of course, business wise, we're gonna give you we exceeded our amount, you know, for a donation for the year.
Absolutely.
Or, you know, we realized that the vision, our visions don't align. Right. So whatever, but I'm okay with you thinking that, oh, he just don't want to give back. You know, because I don't need to justify it. Now, you'll be able to look and see the time. So that's what I mean. Yeah, so it is being self-aware.
Yeah.
But I used to feel guilty about, oh, man, I need to go ahead and
good.
I need to go ahead. You know, even, you know, messing up the day, you know, for us recording, man, that would, you know, and I felt bad about it. Like, yo, man, that's my guy. I don't want him to think, but that would eat me up. Like, okay, what is Josh thinking? And I don't want him to be boom, boom. And understanding, like, if you'd have been like, man, oh yeah, man, that's cool, we ain't gotta did it, that would have ate me up. Now it's like, okay, I would have tried to explain, like, I would have sent you screenshots, like, hey, look, this is what I had going. Now I'm like, listen, either you know my heart or you don't.
Man, and I know, like, but that's exactly what you were saying earlier, though, is like, man, like knowing somebody enough to know, you know what I'm saying, like what they on. Like, I know you're a busy man. I know what you're doing. I know all these things that you got going on. So yeah, it was just a mixed up. Hey, let's still get this in.
Let's make it happen.
Let's still make it happen, right? You know what I mean? But that just goes to, you know, when you're in any relationship, man, like, you know, like really like get to know that person, you know what I'm saying?
100%.
And know what they got going on, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not on like you know, like snooping kind of, you know, spying on somebody. No, like really understanding what they got going on, man, because like at that moment, you can decide if you want to stay or leave, right? You know what I mean?
Because the conversation changed. Because you emailed us and like, okay, hey, so what works for you, right? And bam. And then when I called you, you were like, you told me boom, and I'm like, all right. You said, so I don't know what I said. You tell me what worked for you, and I'm gonna flex whatever I need to flex, as long as it ain't conflicting with my family, right? So that's the heart. you know what I'm saying,
That's
of a person, man.
Absolutely.
And that's still been so, because I won't do that for everybody.
Oh,
and
man.
you're not going to do that for everybody.
No,
You see what I'm saying?
no,
And so I think this is what I want young business owners to understand. When I say young, I don't consider myself too old, but I understand that I'm an OG. You how old are you now, John?
35.
35. Okay, man. Dang. Like Kevin Hart moment. Dang. I'll be 44 in November, man.
Yeah.
And so understanding that, you know, as a business owner, you know, there are younger business owners that look up to me and look up to you as well, right? I want them to know, man, it's okay to tell people no. It's okay to be a little bit selfish. And I'm using that, right? Because you have to take care. Here's the reality. We talked about being on the line at the plant. Somebody passing away, is no facts over feelings, right? Here's the reality. And this is not speaking negative or whatever, but if I was to pass away tomorrow, it's just not happening, right? If that was to happen tomorrow, they'll find somebody else to get cheesecake from.
Big facts.
They'll find somebody else to call and ask to help them move, to borrow money.
Big facts.
To lend a listening ear about their business or their personal situation, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I have to make sure that my family, because the Bible also says that a man that doesn't take care of his family is worse than an infidel.
Oh, infidel, man.
Right, right. So in other words, you trash, right?
Yeah.
You trash. I'm looking at this camera. You
trash.
Yeah. You trash if you don't take care of your family.
No, man, that's facts, man. Like, and if you don't, I mean, so that's why, like, even like for me, it's like, okay, like if I gotta cut or I gotta do this, I gotta do that, like to make sure the family is taken care of, you know. And I consider, you know, people that like work with me family. You know what I mean? You know, until you give me reasons, you know, to not, you know.
Until you give me, hey, cuz you ain't cuz no more.
No, you can't be cuz no more, bro. You know what I'm saying? You own something else. Which, you know, in life, man, people grow, people evolve, people grow separate, right? And you know, there's a difference between, you know, reconciliation, you know, and forgiveness. You know what I mean?
It is, man.
Because forgiveness is like that first step, and then you can decide if you want to reconcile, right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because we should forgive people because we're forgiven, right? So you know, but like that reconciliation piece is a two-way street. Like, because you know, I can set the rules of engagement, you can set yours, and if we both want to, you know,
or continue to make a relationship, because reconciliation, when you reconcile something, you're making something right again. So I think in that forgiveness, you have that heart posture. I can say, okay, hey, I forgive you, Josh, and let's reconcile. Like when you go and look that up in the Bible, and even like when I worked for Comcast, we will reconcile a piece of equipment. Let's say you turned it in your box, and we reconcile it, so we made it able to be used again.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think you could break down that where this relationship might not be able to be reconciled, but I forgive you. You know, and we can move on.
We can move on.
You know, but we can reconcile the feelings that we have to. Hey, we good? We good?
Cool.
All right. But I'm gonna have to take this piece of equipment and get somebody else, because you know you can't have Comcast no more because you ain't never pay your.
You never pay your bill, man. You never pay your bill, bro. Like, so like you can't be reconciled without back, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love it, man.
But yeah, so yeah, like we like. We are like, where are you now?
Where are you now? Yes, sir.
But
where am I now?
We're gonna do, you know, well, before we move on,
okay.
Let me ask you, you know, one of these questions. I'm gonna pull out the phone.
Oh yeah, you better ask the question that wife had.
Alicia said, she said, ask these questions. So
let's go.
Oh, this for you.
This one's for you.
So what are some of the flavors of your cheesecake that you tried that you didn't like? So, and we're talking about like when you like kind of like first like got into it. We're not even talking about now because I feel like now like you got your handle on it. I mean, I'm sure you still experiment, right? But like you got your hand on the pulse, right? Of like what like people are liking and all that stuff. 100%. But like when you first started, you know, what are some of the flavors like? You know, that you tried, you're like, nah, I don't think this is gonna hit, you know.
I mean, the one I was, okay, so I got a couple of answers. One, we attempted to do this Shirley Temple, like, version, like, you know, so just like, Shirley Temple, the cherry, and we were trying to reduce down, we did it for a few, you know, reduce down the soda. It didn't work. It just, when you boil it down and reduce it down, it just turns into just sugar water.
Just sugar water. Yeah,
and so it's like, no, that's not gonna work. And I think, man, we tried something. I think our cinnamon roll cheesecake. We used the cinnamon toast crunch, whatever cereal.
Yeah.
And realized we used that for the crust. And it didn't do it. It wasn't different. It was like it was hitting. But now from a cheesecake in the beginning, I'm like, so the key lime. Now I'll give you that one, the key lime cheesecake. I didn't even care to, you know what I'm saying? And maybe this is kind of going into another question, but the key lime, my wife loves key lime pie. Right, she loves key lime pie. We went to the Florida. So we gotta go to the key. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm eating it. And I'm waiting for this big. I'm like, oh, this is you know what I'm saying? It's all right.
It's cool.
It's you know, it's cool.
It's all right, you know,
and
whatever,
so we married, and she's like, you gotta make this key lime cheesecake, and I'm like, I mean, that's not really my palate, but it took me like 3 years to actually do it. And once we did it, it was up. Everybody was like, yo, let me get that key lime. They was like Chris Rock. Let me get
out here like Pookie, man.
Pookie.
Like, man, like everything I've had hit, you know, and I'm a big bag anyway, you know what I mean? But like, you know, you know what I mean? So like all the cheeses that I've had, you know, from you, man, it's been phenomenal. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that.
And if you haven't, you know, which we're going to talk about this real quick before we go into our little segment, but like tell the people, like, you know, where they can get the cheesecake though, man. Because like this has been a process too, man, which I think we probably need to talk about that too, is just from like when you were like going to have a storefront versus distribution.
Oh, right? Yeah. We might have to come back for that. I mean, and we can talk about it, but like even just because hopefully I get an invite back to the.
You coming back?
You know, hey, when I was preaching regularly, you know, the preacher always say, you know, hopefully, the pastor bring me back in the name of Jesus. Y'all, you know, I lived a lot of lives, y'all. I still, you know, I am still a man of God, but you know, just regularly. But wait, what was the question again?
No. So like pretty much like, man, we were talking about, you know, just like the storefront distribution.
Oh yeah.
And all that stuff. So
okay, so in regards to that, so well, one, you can find us in the Allen neighborhood facility, the Rathburn Kitchen. So it's called the Accelerated Kitchen, 1615 East Kalamazoo Street, Lansing, Michigan, 48912. So that's where we produce all our cakes that are in the Meyer locations, and also there you can come visit us to purchase from us weekly, right? So our summer hours, we're open Monday through Fridays, Monday and Wednesdays 12 to 6, and the rest of the days 4 to 8. You know, so Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So that whole process, you know, Tony, man, shout out to Tony. Tony Willis from League, the GOAT, man. I promise you, like my exposure, bro.
Exposure, yeah.
I'm doing the right thing at the right time. I'm taking my kids to school. We in line. I know the brother from a piece of paper. You know what I'm saying? And we just chatting it up.
Yep.
And we continue to chat it up. And then we like, yo, bro, let's just grab coffee. You seem like a cool dude. You got kids. Our kids same age. And then even before then, just discovering, he told me work at League, but I'm like, oh, okay, y'all jump. You know what I'm saying? I was like, he told me what he did, and I think I was like, oh, okay,
all right, cool. Yeah,
cool. I don't even know what that is.
I don't know, bro. Yeah.
And then he's like, we help businesses. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, all right. Oh,
okay. Yeah, all right. So I'm like, well, maybe, you know, we should talk sometime. So we just, long and short, got into a conversation. And I was like, I want to open up this little hole in the wall spot.
Yeah.
You know, I make these cheesecakes. They're phenomenal. And I want everybody to come in, grab some coffee, a slice of cheesecake. Everybody will know each other's name. You know, boom, boom, boom. You know, and prior to that, my wife was like, I feel that. But she's like, I think you should like try to get in the supermarkets. And it wasn't like I didn't believe her. It was never a dream of mine. I didn't know why it wasn't a dream. I need y'all to hear me, because I didn't know it was possible for me to do it. It wasn't even a thought process, like, because I didn't think, it wasn't like I was like, I can't do it. It wasn't a thought.
Man, but that right there just goes to show you, man, you gotta have the right people in your circle.
You got to. So I always have to shout out my boo first. She said it, and I always tell her, but the difference is Tony gave me all right, let me break it down. the information, the details, the line items. So when I sat down with him, and I gave my big picture and what I wanted to do, open up the space and be here and pass it on to my kids. And he was like, "That's cool." He said, "But I agree with your wife." He said, and this is why. He said, he gave me the numbers. He was like, the mom and pop shops, they're cool, but they make up less than, I think, like 1% or 3% of the wealth in that industry. And I tell the story all the time because he literally shifted my business, right?
Absolutely.
The course of the business. And he said wholesale, he said, pretty much make up that wealth. And getting into that can fund your retail. And so It was up from there. I'm like, well, you should start with that.
Hey, man, like when you make it make sense to me, hey,
it made sense, which actually said, because I started my business October 2019, right before the pandemic. I didn't know a pandemic was coming. Had I went and spent $500,000 on a facility, because that's what it would have been, nothing less than $250,000 to get my own facility, and I was bent on doing that. Yeah, it was going to happen.
Absolutely.
Right, and I'd have been out of business within 5 months.
Facts.
My business went up during COVID, because people were still going to the grocery store.
Stores, yeah, man. And like, that was the first time that I had it. Like when I went to Myers, I'm like, okay, man, we trying to get out the house a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, what was this? And then my wife was like, hey, no, like I didn't see him on social media. Like he be like, like let's get some. So I think the first one that I had was the strawberry shortcake.
Strawberry swirl.
Yeah. Strawberry swirl, and then the cookies and cream.
Man, listen. And then if you go back and look at the old pictures from the logo to what the cakes look like, we always got to be progressive, man. Advancing.
Get better.
I look at the pictures now, especially pictures from way, way back in the day before, when I was trapping cheesecakes out the crib, y'all. Like, you pulled up to I was wow. Hey, yeah, pull up to my house.
Pull up to my house.
Yeah, from Facebook. Not even know. Like, pull up to my house real quick.
No, facts though.
Yeah, and looking at what I thought was a beautiful thing, and it was beautiful to people at the time. And I'm like, yo, look at the progression of where I came, and it's really I got to give all praise to God, man.
Man, absolutely, man. Because I look at like my story similar, you know what I mean? Which that was one of the reasons why we had to like come and have a physical brick and mortar, because I'm like, man, I can't have people at my crib. Like,
listen,
you know what I'm
people
saying?
be crazy,
bro. People is crazy,
and I don't want to have to. I always tell people, if you see me on 10 o'clock news, no, I wasn't selling on the block. No, I wasn't doing that. I was protecting my family.
Protecting my family.
Yes.
People is crazy out here. So yeah, I'm like, man, like we gotta do something different, man. With God graced me, to be able to, start small, and now we're growing, and I just want to, continue to grow.
The top podcast, producing, everything, whatever studio center. And not just Lansing, man, and Michigan, nationwide, worldwide, Risky Studios, man. Talk that talk. Yes, we with it, man. Let's go.
We here, man. We here. You know what I mean? So yeah, like, but no, man, like, so now we're gonna, we're gonna, break into what I like to call top 5.
Top 5. Okay.
Top 5. So since I have, the Master Pastry Chef here.
The Master Pastry Chef.
Yeah, man. That can make anything better than your auntie and your grandma. You know what I'm talking about?
Let's go.
And I'm gonna start the top 5. So top 5 cheesecake flavors of all time.
Okay.
And it could be yours. It could be something else that you've tasted that was like, whoa, like this.
Oh no, ain't nobody better than mine. Yeah. I'm talking that talk.
Talk that talk, man. Talk that talk, because hey, like, his cheesecakes are fire. Man, I had which this is one of my top 5. So I'm gonna walk through my top 5.
Okay.
So my no particular order.
Okay.
Turtle.
Okay.
So turtle cheesecake.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Right.
Yeah. Is it the chocolate, the caramel, or the cluster?
It got to be the cluster.
The cluster.
It got to be the cluster. I mean, it has to be the cluster. Yeah. Though that just set it over the top.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man. So I had Mr. Leslie's Biscoff cookie.
Oh, you got that one, didn't you?
Cheesecake at the Juneteenth event. Shout out to Mikey Austin and the 517. Our Space 517. Yeah. Man, they always put on this great Juneteenth event, man. It's phenomenal every year, and it gets better and better. I feel like every year, man. So continue doing that, please. But I had that Biscoff cookie butter cheesecake.
Was it fire?
Man, that's probably one of the best ones I've ever had in my life.
Hey, y'all see that? Look how he restaurant.
In my life. You know what I'm saying? But and like I'm like I like cheesecake, but I'm not a huge cheesecake guy.
Right,
You know what
right,
I'm saying?
right.
Like my wife is though.
Yeah,
my wife,
yeah.
she rather have cheesecake over birthday cake or anything,
Love
right?
it. Love it. So, what we doing for our birthday this year?
So next year.
Okay. Birthday already passed. See.
So my daughter's birthday was on the 31st of last week, and then hers was on the 1st. So there's
got you.
Day apart. Yeah. You know what I mean? So next year, I'm gonna order one for her.
Yeah.
You know
or just for when you want to show her your love.
Maybe
you know
in like anniversary. Maybe
listen.
But no, man, that Biscoff cookie butter was nuts.
Yeah. No, it is.
It's nuts.
It's yes.
Like if y'all never had,
it's like that.
The like Delta Biscoff cookies, you know what I mean? Yeah. Whatever.
If you listen, change your life. But
man, it changed my life, man. And like during that time, which I'm still on that journey of like eating better, making better choices, eating and working out again, and all this other stuff. So like I ate off that thing probably for like a week. You know what I mean? Because I'm just like piecing up, but I'm like wanting to really get in there.
Yeah.
Like, nah, let me just get a little bit.
Yeah.
So man, like that Biscoff cookie butter.
Yeah.
Peas cobbler.
Yep.
Man, like, and if you never had just regular peas cobbler, man, you probably lame for real,
Yeah,
100%. But like
not peach pie.
No, not peas pie. We're talking about peas cobbler. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
My Caucasian brothers and sisters, and I love y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all be like, peach pie, right? No. Peach cobbler.
Peas cobbler, man. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Man, rest in peace to my aunt. Man, she passed probably like 3 years ago, but
yeah.
She made some of the best peach cobbler I've ever even there's other people peach cobbler I've had that was good, but I've never had any like hers. And when you add that with the cheesecake element,
that was my first combination cheesecake.
Oh my goodness!
That was the one I took to that Super Bowl party.
Hey, listen, that mug is fire too, man. Because I think when we went to the Juneteenth, I bought the Biscoff and I bought the peach cobbler. So, I've had sweet potato pie cheesecake.
Yeah.
And if anybody know me,
you're a sweet potato head.
I'm a sweet potato head.
Okay, let's go.
Even when I go to restaurants, I get sweet potato fries sometimes.
Yeah, really? I mean? Oh, so you like it like that? I don't like sweet potato fries like that if I don't make them.
Yeah, sweet potato fries. It's a spot that's in Canton.
Okay.
Called the Peach Cobbler Factory.
Yeah. I'm familiar with it. I haven't been there yet.
Man, they got this sweet potato cobbler.
It's fire?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, bro. Okay.
Man, it's crazy, man. But they got other flavors. Man, that's crazy. But then either strawberry, like just regular fresh strawberries, or like the strawberry swirl, the strawberry shortcake, whatever, right? Like anything strawberry is like, man, it's phenomenal because especially when you got fresh strawberries on that boy, and then the richness of the cheese, oh man, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then, honorable mention is cookies and creams.
Honorable mention, boy. Yeah, that's
honorable mention for me. I mean, had to throw it in there, but like honorable mention is
like if you go into the store, and because you only you got to come to us to get the special stuff.
Man, for real, man. Listen, Mr. Leslie's Cheesecake, and I'm talking to all of y'all, it's some of the best cheesecake I've ever had in my life. And that's not even saying because you here. It's because like I'm a big back. And I've tasted a lot of sweets, a lot of different things, which I'm changing my life around now.
Yeah. In moderation though.
In moderation, right? But man, like even like the like crust, I don't know. It's something with like the crust is crazy. Man, it's not. Oh man, I don't even know how to really like explain it because like some graham cracker crust you get, man, it's like dusty or something. Like it's like, ugh.
We put a little extra happiness.
Yeah, man. Like joint. Man, it's something that's like that's in the crust that's phenomenal. So if you haven't had Mrs. Leslie's Cheesecake, man, get you some. If you're in the greater Lansing area, Detroit, man, please get there, man. because it's something that you don't want to miss for real. Like,
Oh no, yeah, that was a good 5 right there.
yeah. So
Yeah.
hey, let's go ahead and get your 5 real quick. Let's get your 5.
Man, my top is lemon drop. So people used to think I was capping. I was just saying that just to get people to buy. No, lemon drop is my in that particular order number 1 because I love lemon.
Okay.
Lemon flavors, just off jump. Man, I have to now. That's number 1, so I'm going not in order anymore. So I would say peach cobbler, just because that was my first combination cheesecake, man.
Yeah.
That would has so it has a special place. We have a love-hate relationship because it took a while to get to where it's at right now. Because when you baking with fruit, things of that nature, it breaks down the cheesecake, and we done had some. You know what I'm saying? We done broke up a couple of times.
It's perfected now.
Yeah, it's perfected now. You've seen different variations of it. So we got the lemon drop, we got the peach cobbler. Now I will tell you, like when you making something all the time, you like, you good.
That's cool.
That Biscoff. So I remember I tasted that joint when I made it, and I called my wife. I said, "Oh,
we got one.
Oh,
we got one.
Oh, this is about to be dangerous." And people thought I was capping. Like, I think we only made that day like 20 of them, and and then we made it for Juneteenth because we knew it was gonna go crazy. And we might be bringing it back again,
please.
But that one right there, yeah,
that one was, that's serious.
Yeah, and so, banana pudding, man. Listen, I love me some banana pudding, bro. So that banana pudding cheesecake. But I'm gonna let's see, that's 4, right? Banana pudding.
Yep.
Yeah, that's 4. But the banana pudding, and I used to make this for one of my clients back in the day with the strawberry joint. So banana pudding, strawberry cheesecake, and I might have to bring that back. So, and then I love like some of your basic, like strawberry.
Yeah,
so like
strawberry
supreme, strawberry swirl, or the shortcake is a problem. The strawberry shortcake cheesecake. If you like that nostalgic, the ice cream we used to get back in the day, man, that cheesecake right there, it makes you like. So that'd be my top 5, and they could change based upon how I'm feeling.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? We forgot. Okay, this is honorable mention, but this might bump something off. The apple cider donut cheesecake. Have you had that one yet?
I haven't had that one yet.
Oh, that one.
That sounds crazy though.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
and it's a problem. I had a customer that bought like 3 a week. Like that. It's a whole problem. So yeah, that's my top 5, man. That's where we at with it.
That's a crazy top 5 though.
Hey, and sometimes when you creating, you ever create something and you realize, oh, it's phenomenal. Then you realize now as a business owner, you got to think about the maintenance of keeping that up.
Keeping it up, man.
And so to realize certain flavor. That's why it's definitely people are like, well, I don't see those in the store, and you probably won't because you're not gonna pay. Like you're just not like it's gonna cost you $15 because I can't sell it to Meyer for that low of a price.
Absolutely.
Right. So you got to get it from us, and it keeps people coming to us. So
absolutely. No, man, like I said, I'm gonna say it again. Some of the best cheesecake I've ever had in my life. So
love it, man.
So yeah, but go ahead and get that. Go ahead and get that. So another quick little segment. It's called "What You Got on Your Feet There."
Let's go.
So yeah, like for me, man, I'm gonna put mine up in the air, man. I got the little easy.
Let's go.
350. You
know. What we at with? Can I get my leg up that high? So I got the Hocus. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Hocus.
3000s, boy.
3000.
Slip resistant. Listen, so I watched my Jays watch me walking past them, and I'll be honest with you, I'm getting back into my shoe era.
Yeah.
Like I remember as a kid. Like my dad was like, well, "You want them? You got to work. Go ahead and get them."
Yeah.
Right, and so now I remember I'm in the kitchen, standing up all day. You walking, and
them Hocus is phenomenal because I had them at GM when I was.
Oh, bro, listen, when I got
concrete,
bro, like my knees is better, my back is better.
Yep.
So yeah. So and we at the stage too where we don't care about what nobody.
I ain't really tripping off of none of that no more. Like, man, I have Hocus, I have Asics, I have Brooks, I have right now one of my favorite shoes is the Saucony Echelon.
Oh, you'll have to send that. Listen,
yeah,
because my goal is not to be one of them. Because I can't say I'm tall because I'm here with you.
You are you are tall.
I'm
above
the average. Okay, yeah.
You're above average.
So I don't want to be one of them. you ever see the tall old black guys, man?
Man, they be
And
leaned over.
they leaned over and then they be like this. And I'm not knocking. My goal is so I don't have to be that because it looks painful. And so I saw myself trending there. So I'm trying to take care of what I need to take care
Absolutely. I mean, and those guys put their bodies on the line for their family, though. You know what I mean?
Man,
Which like, because even my dad, like right now, like there's some things, man. So he had a knee replacement that probably 7 years ago, something like that.
Can we do a segment next? I'm saying next time I come back to our Black heroes, bro, because we talk a lot about how, oh man, our parents used to beat us and stuff like that. But can we talk about the hell they went through, and put themselves on the line? My dad working 60 hours, 70 hours a week. And my dad would come home, still sit down, even in 15 minutes. Hey, son, how was school? Let me see the homework. If we were still eating dinner, he's sitting at the table, boom, plate made. Good. Like, can we talk about our parents?
Man.
Not this one, but
no, for sure, for sure. No, man, like those are things that for sure need to talk about, man. Because man, I appreciate my pops and my moms. My mom worked like 41 years.
Man.
In the same job.
That's dope.
Even my pops, like he ended up getting hurt at work. Like throughout his back. Like my mom held us down. For like some years. You know what I'm saying? And and they still together. They just celebrated what my brother is. So 38 years of marriage.
God,
and man, they're still going. You know what I'm saying? So
and we say it don't exist. It exists.
No, man, it for sure exists. Shoot, man, I'm working on 11 myself. You know what I'm saying?
12. It'd be 12 on the 18th for me. My parents, before my dad passed, this would have been the 40. I'd be 44. So this would have been the 44th year. So 43 last year.
Yep.
So. Oh, it exists, man.
Oh, it for sure exists. So, man, like, hey, you can do it. You can do it too. You know what I mean?
Yes,
but hey, you gotta one, be a little selfish, man, and like take care of yourself first. So when you do get into a relationship, man, like like you're whole and you're well. Before you hop into a relationship that you might want to last forever. You know what I mean? Which we all want our relationships to last forever, but but going into it whole, is gonna help you. You know what I mean?
Man, he said a word. We need to get out of here because he said no. Because I always tell people like you ain't supposed. I need him to complete me. I need her to complete me. No, bro. You supposed to be whole.
Supposed to be whole.
And then when you get into that joint, and that's saying that you're not growing and that you don't have some things that you didn't have that you didn't discover. But when you're comfortable being with you and you don't have to be dependent on someone else's thought process and view of you to say that you're valid as a human being.
Man, that's good.
Bro, like it changes. Like, yeah, I want my wife to be proud of me and happy for me, man. I look for certain cues, but and vice versa. But we both understand that when we were dating, my wife told me, she said, "Oh, I'm whole. I don't need no man to complete me. God completes me." But I do want the husband that God has for me. So now we two whole pictures coming together and creating a whole different whole picture. Man, bro, that's sexy talk right there.
Sexy, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's sexy right there. Man.
You know what I'm saying? We ain't talk. I don't need to talk about what you like in the. You know what I'm saying? No. What's your life look like?
Man, facts, man. And I would say too, like to some of the young people to even like old people that's getting into relationships, man. Like, make sure you friends first too,
bro.
You know what I'm saying?
That you like them.
Man, that you actually like this person, not just because they fat, they fine or they bad, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But like, make sure you friends because man, like some of that stuff wears away. You know what I mean? Some of this, but people get old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they change.
People change. But knowing that you have a friend that really cares about you, you know what I mean? That like no matter how you change, you like getting big, small, get sick or whatever, man. Like when you really care about your friend and a friend turned lover, you know what I mean? Like, man, it's easy to like stick it out. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, like be that friend because me and my wife, man, we've been knowing each other since 9th grade.
Oh, that's dope.
You know what I mean? And then me and her started dating my senior year in high school. So man, we've been together since senior year in high school.
That's dope.
And we still building, we still growing, we still figuring things out, figuring each other out. You know what I'm saying? And like
because the 9th grade you ain't the 30. What you said? 36?
35.
35.
Yeah.
No. The 14-year-old you.
It's not me.
That
It's
ain't that
not me
ain't.
no more.
And sometimes we try to live off that, and we still trying to treat that person off of how. But you used to like flowers. She don't like flowers no more.
She don't like flowers no more, man.
Okay.
She like cheesecake though.
But she like cheesecake. Listen, and she might want a cheesecake every month. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And I started a plan where Josh can get cheesecakes.
We got a monthly subscription for different cheesecake flavors.
There you go. All right. Hey, for your boo who loves cheese, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta, yeah, that's a whole nother thing too, man. Yeah.
Whole nother thing.
Yeah.
That was the first thing that my wife ever made me though, was cheesecake.
Really?
Just doing that. Appreciate you, boo, for making me them two cheesecakes. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, and now he friends with the Connect.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, we gonna start to wrap this up, man.
Yeah.
So the last segment is where are you going? Where do you see yourself in 5? Even next month? But like somewhere in the future, near future, 10 years down the road, where do you see yourself? And and then we'll like end with just last words.
Yeah,
and all that stuff.
So I mean, where we're going, man, is to have our own facility, a place where we'll be producing, thousands of cheesecakes monthly. So we will be the number one producing cheesecake facility in Michigan in the next 3 years. Yeah. Right. And then aiming for that nationally and then worldwide. Yeah. So not just for Meijer or Kroger or Walmart, but for your, and I'll just leave it right there because there's a lot of different avenues, your hospitals, your, everywhere that can serve desserts, hotels, things of that nature. We don't, and here's the thing: when you hear Miss Celeste Cheesecakes, I don't want you to think. Why don't you think about me for everything? Even though we might not do birthday cakes, I want you, or like your typical birthday cake. I want you to think about Miss Celeste Cheesecakes first. Mm-hmm. And I always say we don't, so cheesecake, that's the commodity. That's what, but what the product that the customer taking home, that's happiness, man. So we're creating an experience of happiness for the customer that affects the family, the community. And it shows our hard work and dedication to all of that to produce the product that we're looking to produce for the customer.
Legacy,
man.
Legacy, man. And because I've already seen you dabbling in Mr. Leslie's ice cream cheesecake.
Yeah,
man, I saw it. I was like, immediately, man. Like my back got big. I'm like, man, what?
Yeah,
so, man, like. I can see it, and I pray that, that God continue to, man, just direct your path, man. Being in God's will is the like best place to be, and letting the Holy Spirit lead you. You know what I'm saying?
No, definitely.
And like, so man, just continue letting the Holy Spirit lead you, because, man, like He knows like what's around the corner. Like we might see like straight ahead, but He knows what's around the corner. You know what I mean? What's coming, right? So, even what you're talking about. How you got into distribution first is like having the storefront, man. He's seen around the corner. Like he's seen the pandemic coming. He got to your wife. He brought Tony in the picture, and that thing happened, and like the mindset changed. So so any last words, man, that you want to, say to the people talking that camera right there?
Last words, man. Like, just do it. And it sounds cliche, but just do it. Whatever it is. We talked about being selfish, right? Be selfish with your time, right? Whatever you need to cut off, the TV, the friends that don't believe in the dream. It might be loved ones, right? And when I say cut them off, it doesn't mean that you don't talk to them, but you can't talk to them about, like, mom might not understand what starting a business looks like, and she might not be supporting other dream, not because she doesn't believe in you, but she doesn't understand what that looks like, right? So you have to be aware enough and facts over feelings, right? Understand the fact of mom don't understand that, and she just can't get past that because all she knows is that 9 to 5. All right, so then you talk to mom about what you need to talk to her about, but not this thing. Right. You have to be intentional about, and that's what I mean, selfish with your thoughts, your time, so that those seeds are not unintentionally sold into your mind, your heart, your spirit. And so when I say just do it, let's be intentional about just do it. I have a saying, do it ugly before you do it perfect. Right. which just means it doesn't have to be a perfected picture, right? Sometimes you just need to go ahead and just do that thing and learn the lesson as you go. It doesn't mean you don't have a plan.
Yeah.
Right. But sometimes we'll get a plan. Okay, but I need to have $1,000 saved here. And I need to have this type of car. And I need to have this type of person, social media person. No, just go ahead and do it.
Just do it.
Right. And be selfish while you're doing it so that your dream, and again, in context of what I'm talking about, and so that your dream doesn't die. Right. You don't starve it out. And if I can leave with this last thing, don't be afraid to do it free.
That's good.
Okay? Don't be afraid to do it free. I'm not saying let people abuse your time, but sometimes a lot of times free will get you put in a room where you can make millions.
That's good.
Thousands, hundreds. Right now, let's forget the millions because you need hundreds.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Man,
right?
That's so good.
And I see so many people trying to get paid and they have no proven concept of the thing that they say they're expert in. So
they don't even have no standardized work.
They don't have no standardized work, and doing it free not only exposes people to the thing that you can do professionally, you create your own commercial. Record the thing that you're doing for free.
Man, that's so good.
Good,
so good. And the last thing I'll say is just limited access, right?
Yeah.
Everybody don't need access to your life.
100%.
And some people, have more access than others, right? So sometimes you got to limit your access to like some of the people that you love sometimes, just to get away, because it should be, you, God,
mm-hmm.
and your spouse, what I'm saying, first, right? And then you kind of trickle that down to like your kids. Like my son is starting to understand what business looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And, people won't know that they are in the next room right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But like my son, knows how to be quiet while I'm, recording, man. So those are some of the things that, I teach them. But yeah, make sure you limit your access to people. People shouldn't have all the access in the world to you, because when they do, they take up time that you probably don't have. You know what I mean? So
you're taking away from something else.
Yeah. So hey, and with that being said, this has been the Risky Lifestyle Podcast.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm here with, the
Cheesecake
comparable Mr. Leslie from Mr. Leslie's Cheesecake, man. And like I said earlier, man, it's been a blessing having you here, man. And you are one of the guys that I look up to. So, man, like, just know that you have my ear, my heart, you know what I mean? And I want to see you continue to go up so I can continue to learn from you, as you are that model to us, young fellas, you know what I mean? And yeah, if you have liked this has blessed you, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, man. Yeah. Share it with somebody, man. That's all I ask.
We need 100 shares.
Man, we need 100 of them,
100 shares. Tag your mama in them.
Absolutely. Everybody, man, because, man, this has been a great episode, man. I know we kind of, went all over the place, but, man, I think there were some great points made and all that good stuff. And, again, I'm your host, Joshua Southern, Big Josh, Big Smooth, Big Cuz, Big Risky, whatever, right? And until next time, peace and blessings.
Peace.